mistakes. It's something every new Amazon seller is going to make, and they are going to be a very important part of your journey, as it's often these mistakes which teach you the most. But if you can avoid these mistakes, it probably is worth it, as most of the time it's going to cost you both time and money if you do make them. So that's why today we'll be talking all about the most common mistakes new sellers make when selling on Amazon and how you can avoid them. So let's get into some of the most common mistakes sellers make. We'll be keeping the most common and the most expensive one until the end, so make sure to stick around until then. And as always, hit that subscribe button. We post out Amazon FBA videos every single Thursday, totally for free. And if you have any questions or any other video ideas you'd like us to make, put them down below in the comments. So up first, we have competing against Amazon. So you probably know Amazon sell most products themselves, or at least most of the larger brands. Now, if you decide to sell on a listing which Amazon also sell on, your chance of winning the all-important buy box is very, very slim. Amazon don't really give up or share the buy box with other sellers. The only time they'll do this is if they are way more expensive than you can sell it for, which of course is rare because they buy such huge quantities. How can you compete with their price? Or if they run out of stock. But of course, you have absolutely no idea of Amazon's stock levels when they're going to be sending more stock in. So it's a very, very risky game. So if you are a new seller, we don't recommend to compete against Amazon. As you get more experience, it is something you can do, but you do just need to be careful. Now, if you're wondering how to tell if Amazon actually sell on a listing, well, it's super easy to do. You can either just do it on the Amazon page. So here on this Amazon page, you'll see the buy box seller, dispatches from, and sold by. The important one here is the sold by. That means who the seller is. Or another easy way is you can go on the Profitl Chrome extension, go on the seller data, and you'll see Amazon is selling on this listing. So on to our next common mistake, and that is not realizing that an item is gated. Now, if you don't know what being gated means, it means you can't sell the item. You need to get permission from Amazon to be able to sell it. And this is something we do see quite often. People will buy an item, go to send it in, and then realize they can't actually do it because they're gated because they haven't checked. Now, getting ungated isn't too difficult. All you need is an invoice for that brand from a wholesaler showing you've purchased 10 units. Now, obviously, if you're doing arbitrage, this does make it a bit more complex, but we have done a full video about how you can do this. We'll link it just up here, so make sure to check that out. Now, to actually check if you are gated in a product is really easy. Again, you can either do it on your Amazon seller account, so just put the ASIN into your account and it will tell you if you are gated. Or again, you can just go on the Profitl Chrome extension. If you come down to the warning section, you'll see this one here. Yes, we're gated, and we can request to be ungated also within the extension. So if you do ever see you are gated, you do need a way to get this brand unlocked. So make sure not to sell it unless you're confident you're going to be able to get approval from Amazon. Now, before we get into the next one, we did just want to let you know about an exclusive Profitl discount code for our YouTube viewers. We'll make it pop up just here. It's going to save you either 5% on yearly plans. Yearly plans already have over 50% off, or 20% on monthly plans. If you don't know what Profitl is, we are an Amazon FBA software. We have a deal analyzer, a DealFinder, wholesale scanner, the most amazing Discord community, and just so many features. So make sure to take that down if you do want to save some money on your Profitl subscription. But now let's get into some more mistakes, and we're not far away from the most common and the most expensive one. So up next, we have not looking at the price graphs. So you may just be wondering what price graphs actually are. Well, let me show you. So whenever you're analyzing a product for Amazon FBA, you can go into Profitl and you can click the section here, load price graph. And you're probably wondering why this is a mistake. Well, the reason for this is just how important price graphs are when it comes to analyzing product. And this is because they provide so much insight which isn't clear on the surface, because we can have a look at the historical data of the product. How many sellers has it had historically? What has the price been historically? What is the sales rank? And these are all things which are so important in order to minimize our risk of making a bad product purchase. Now, this is most common when it comes to pricing. I'm going to show you an example of a live FBA deal where the price graph shows us a lot of really important information. So on the website Notino, we can buy this conditioner for £3.23 with the code ALL15. Now on Amazon, we can see it sells for £9.99. So that's the first thing when looking for a good FBA deal. Of course, it needs to be selling for a lot more than what we're going to be buying it for. And on the surface, it looks like a great deal. It's making 97% return on investment, £3.30 profit per unit after our fee. So that's all absolutely great. But we need to look at more data from this on the price graph. So let's load up the price graph and we're going to have a look at the price over the last year. And the reason this is so important now is because we can see that the price right now is actually high. So it's currently selling for £9.99, but we can see just a few months ago the buy box price of this item was £6.57. So it's gone up almost £3, and what that means is a very high chance the price may drop. Now if we're selling this for £6.57, let's put £6.57 in here for our sale price. That means we're now only making 18p profit, 5% return on investment. So of course that is no good for us. Now there's no guarantees that this price is going to drop, but when buying a product, you need to know what the chances are of something like this happening. And it's especially true if you're new to Amazon, because you don't want this to be happening to you. The chances are you have limited funds to be investing in products, so products like this you may decide to avoid. If you are an experienced seller, you can go for more risky ones like this, because realistically often the price doesn't come back down for quite a while. You can quite often get your stock in and sold out before it does drop, but it is just something you do need to be aware of. So on to our penultimate mistake. Next up we have the most common one, but up now is all about intellectual property or IP. So when selling on Amazon, you can't sell all brands. Some brands don't want you selling their items. Now this isn't the case for most large brands, although some you can't sell, but it is very common for smaller brands or private label listings. And this is a really common mistake, because with smaller brands, often you're not gated in it, so you think you can sell it, but what's going to happen is you might start selling this product and you're going to get an IP violation on your account, an intellectual property violation. And this is a really bad thing to happen, especially if you're new to Amazon. So you do need to be really careful about IP issues. Now there's a few things to be looking out for when sourcing your product. Profitl does have a built-in IP scanner, so if you're on a product which has known IP issues like Yankee Candle for example, just down here on the warning section it says it's an IP risk. Now that's not to say you're going to have any IP issues with it, but in the past this brand has been known to have IP issues, so you need to be very careful. Now the most common one is with private label products, and these are really easy to spot. If you don't know what private label is, this is where people will buy products usually from China on a website like Alibaba. They'll put their own brand on the item and they'll get the trademark for it. So let me show you an example of this, which is a candle, and the brand is Luminara, but the giveaway here is the fact that the seller is Luminara and they are the only seller on the listing. So if there's only one seller on the listing and it's the brand name, this is usually going to be a private label product and you can't sell it. So now we're on to the most common and often the most expensive mistake we see when it comes to new sellers starting Amazon FBA, and that is about variation product. So what is a variation product? Well, let me show you on the screen. So this product here, this foundation, has a number of different colors and sizes, 32 in fact. But you're probably wondering why this is a common mistake. Well, that mistake is overestimating how popular the item is. Because if you look at this item here, you're going to think it's absolutely amazing. Look at these reviews, 6,600 reviews. Look at these sales. It's got sales of 1,300 a month, and the revenue is absolutely amazing, and it's got a really good sales rank, so 980 in its categories. But that doesn't give us the full story, because the sales rank is split across all these variations. The reviews are split across all these variations. So it may not actually be as popular as you think. And what we do often see is people buying products like this, thinking they're really popular. They send them into Amazon's warehouse and they're not the popular one, so they get stuck with stock which isn't going to sell. Now fortunately for you, Profitl does have a feature which is going to tell you the sales for every single variation. So all we have to do is come down to here, click view variation sales, and now we can see the sales for every single variation. So the product we're actually looking at is this 242 like honey. So how popular actually is it? Well, let's scroll down and we're going to come across it just here. This is only getting 0.87% of the sales on this listing, 12 to 18 a month. So it really isn't as popular as it may seem on the surface. So if you are ever selling variation products, please be careful. Please use the variation sales feature, because the last thing you want is to send items into Amazon's warehouse and they take forever to sell. Often you're going to have to end up selling these for a loss. So those are the most common mistakes we see new sellers making when starting on Amazon. We hope you found that video helpful and insightful. As I mentioned earlier, if you have any questions or any other videos you'd like us to make, please do let us know. You'll find all of our important links in the description, our social media channels as well. But that's all for today's video. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you in the next one.